What's up guys, Syiler here, and I am back with another leveling episode. This time we're on episode 5, I believe. And in this episode, actually last episode I told you guys to leave me some comments on what I should talk about in the next episodes, as I was semi-tempted to bring the series to an end just because I don't have a lot of things to talk about that I can think of at least. And you guys give a load of little things that I could talk about, which is awesome. So what we'll be doing, it won't be in this episode, but the episode after this one, what we'll start doing is I'll go through all the comments and I'll talk about whatever it is you've asked me to talk about, and say it only lasts for 3 minutes, then I'll move on to the next one. And if there's any left over, we'll save those for the episode after that. So if there's something in particular you want me to talk about, be it like a life experience or thoughts on something or whatever, just leave it in the comments and I'll use it for one of the future episodes. Although in this episode there is something I want to talk about, so we won't be using it for this one. And my microphone keeps spiking on my side monitor, so I'm going to move back a little bit, but hopefully it's not too loud for you. Hopefully we're good to go. But before we get started though, there's a couple of things that I do want to mention as always. And first of all, if you haven't, or you've not been to my other channel, One Legion TV, and you still enjoy the guides and the informative videos and maybe Legion stuff, whatever, then head to One Legion TV. It's in the description, and it's the channel that I've been working on to be like a WoW fan site type thing. It's dedicated to WoW, so if you want those kind of videos from me still, then that's the place to be. So if you could head there and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. As yeah, the more the merrier that we have over there, it'd be good. I've been putting out a video every day or so, put out a Void Talon of the Dark Starter guide, and we did some of the other WoD mounts, and I'll be moving on to some Legion content soon, especially when it moves into beta. I've not really done much alpha stuff just because it's alpha, and I don't really want to do stuff that may be changed, but beta at least it's a bit more safe to make content on it. And before we get started on the main topic as well, I want to talk about, I've been playing Dark Souls 3, and I'm not really huge into the Dark Souls scene or whatever, but I was watching Hybrid Panda play, a friend of mine play, and it looked great. It looked like one of those games that if I don't play it, I'm going to regret it. So I ended up playing it, bought it, and I've got 50 odd hours in the game after 4 days, or I guess 5 days now. And I didn't play yesterday, really. So the first 2 days I played it, I put 16 hours into it. And that's how I can tell it's a game I like, because it's been a while since I put 16 hours into a game. And not only that, but once I finished the main story, I was looking up lore tidbits and finding out why certain things happened and going back and finding all the secrets and stuff. I've had a blast playing the game. So if you've been hesitant to buy it or whatever, and you've got the money, I definitely would recommend it, because I had a lot of fun playing that game. And I'm looking forward to the DLC and stuff, because I'm kind of sad that I've finished it now. A couple of other things as well. For those who enjoy my leveling series, the live stream versions where I level from 1 to max level in one sitting, my marathons. I know a few of you should understand what I'm talking about. I'm probably going to do a 1 to 110, which is the new Legion cap on the Legion beta or alpha or whatever it is at the time, in about 2 weeks time. Next weekend, so not the weekend coming up, but the weekend after. Not confirmed if it's going to be that date yet, but if you like those, then you can look forward to me doing the 110 version. As always, I try and be the first person to get it done. I was the first person to do it in WoD. I did it on the beta, and I plan on doing it for Legion as well. Although, so far I don't think there's been an XP nerf to old content, so it's probably going to take me a while this time round, but we'll see what happens. And either way, I'll be giving it a crack and seeing what we can do. So if you like those, you can look forward to that. And finally, there was something else I wanted to mention, but it's gone now. Hopefully I'll remember later on. There was something else I wanted to mention before we got started with the main topic. Well, is that it? We'll just get started with the main topic, I guess. So, in this episode I wanted to talk about... Oh, that was it. Sorry. So, and for those who don't know, Legion launches on the 30th of August. Blizzard have put out their official announcement. And that kind of ties into today's topic as well. So, what I want to talk about in this video is Blizzard doing legacy servers. A lot of people have like want them. There's this kind of like big, I wouldn't say drama, but the community is like kind of banding together to get Blizzard to do legacy servers. So I just wanted to talk about my thoughts on it, whether Blizzard will do it, and all that kind of related jazz. So as you know, or as you may have not known, Blizzard have put out the Legion will launch on the 30th of August. And that's kind of very unlike Blizzard. Obviously they always release the date, but don't you think it's strange the way they've done it? They normally kind of have a bit of a build up to the release date. And it's not as kind of random as it was today, or yesterday. They just kind of put it out there. And the reason I think they've done that is to drive attention away from this whole legacy server movement that's going on at the moment. And you might be thinking, why would they do that? Just because they don't really want to do it. So let's backtrack a little bit here. So the reason everyone's getting like egged up about legacy servers is because there was quite a big popular one called Nostralis, and it was getting like 150,000 active players, and it had like 800,000 players signed up. So it had a decent amount of people interested in it. Now obviously 800k that's dropped down to 150k is quite a big difference. But what's this? Oh, it's gone. But even so, 150k is still a decent amount. So with that being said, Blizzard came along and they shut it down. Now the server wasn't making profit, which is good because there's a lot of private servers out there that emulate like classic WoW, like legacy WoW, and they'll try and make money from it. And they'll sell like levels, they'll sell gear or whatever, and it's kind of cheesy. Well, not cheesy, but not good. But this Nostralis one didn't make any profit. They didn't sell anything. They didn't do anything along those lines. But the issue was it started to get pretty damn popular. So Blizzard came along and they shut it down. It's gone. They can't cease. They can't like continue as a legacy server because at the end of the day they're using Blizzard assets, and Blizzard don't want that. Blizzard are in their right to shut it down basically. So with it being shut down, a load of players that were playing on private servers or players that want to play on like legacy servers have kind of banded together, and they're making a petition to get Blizzard to make their own legacy servers. So in this video, I wanted to talk about why I think, or what I think of that, if Blizzard will do them, when they would do them, and all that kind of jazz. So first of all, will Blizzard bring out legacy servers this year? My answer is gonna be no. I would be very, 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 very surprised if Blizzard brought out legacy servers this year. The reason? First of all, they randomly give the launch date of Legion. It felt really, really random. And they were like, yeah, 30th of August, yeah, forget about legacy servers, yeah. It felt kind of like they were just trying to distract people, just to make them forget about it, because at the end of the day, a lot of people just want something to do. So if they know Legion's only like X month around the corner, then they'll care slightly less about Legion. So with that being said, let me kill this guy real quick. But on top of that, this year is a big year for Blizzard. So first of all, they're gonna have, what's going on? First of all, they're gonna have the Warcraft movie. Actually, Overwatch comes out first, and Overwatch doesn't really affect WoW, but it's still a big launch for them. And they've got like some Hearthstone stuff going on this year, and then they've got the Warcraft movie, which is huge for the Warcraft franchise. Obviously, it's the first thing that they've done where it's the first movie they've done, and it relates into Warcraft, so it's going to bring a lot of people to be interested in World of Warcraft. Not only that, but there's rumours that a questionnaire was going around a few months ago that asked if people would, or what they would want as like a goodie, as like a reward for watching the film in the cinemas. And one of those options was a free copy of World of Warcraft with a month game time. So not the starter edition, but an actual like paid version of WoW, all the way up to Warlords of Draenor, and you'd get 30 days game time as well. So what that would do is it would bring people in who have never played WoW before, and if you give them a free game, they've got the PC to play it. Why wouldn't they play it? You'd have to be insane to not play it. And it doesn't really make Blizzard lose out on anything, because if they can get them to subscribe, that's one extra subscription that probably would never have been interested in playing, you know? So it's a genius play on Blizzard's part, if they actually go down that route, which I'd be surprised if they don't. So you've got that, but you've also got the fact that Legion comes out the 30th of August. So you've got the film release, which is going to bring a load of people to retail, and then you've got Legion, which is going to bring a load of people back and get a load of people playing retail and interested in the game again. And obviously they're trying to make this expansion like the best they can. So why would they bring out legacy servers this year? If they were to bring out legacy servers now, then it's too close to Legion and the Warcraft film. They don't want people playing legacy. They want them interested in retail for upcoming Legion launch. And if they were to bring it out like in between the film and Legion, once again, they don't want to take sales away from Legion. People might play Classic and not buy Legion just because they have something else to do. So bringing it out this year just seems like one of the worst business moves they could make. Sure, it'll bring some of these random people back that complain that the game's dead or whatever, and those that just want to play Legacy, but at the end of the day, are those really the people that they want to bring back? They want the people who are going to continue buying the new expansions and, you know, commit to the new servers, because those are the subscriptions they're going to have for the longest. And what I mean by that is, say you bring back Billy, who really loved Classic and he's not played WoW since like BC, and he comes back and plays the Classic server. How long is he actually going to play the Classic server for? So it could be, you know, he could play for a month or two and then get bored and then quit again. While at least, you know, if you're trying to bring in people who play retail, at least you know you're going to be consistently bringing them back with the new content patches and the new expansions and all that kind of stuff. So it's more consistent revenue rather than just this little bit of revenue you're going to make from Steve or Bob or whatever. And then we also have to look at what is the actual benefit of Blizzard doing legacy servers. So there's this big movement right now, obviously, with Soda Poppin and all that, getting streamers to say, you know, I'll stream legacy servers if you were to do them. That's, you know, that's what Blizzard have, that's what they're doing. They're basically getting all popular streamers, like big WoW names, like Soda, Chinglish, Bajira, a friend of mine, Census. Like, there's a load of people on that list that would say, you know, have said that they'll come back and play legacy servers and they'll stream it and they'll make content on it if Blizzard were to make them. Now that's all well and good, but how long will they actually stream them for? And not to sound like a douche or whatever, but a lot of streamers just move on to whatever's popular at the time. So they might stream it for a couple of months, but say like flashy shiny new MMO comes out or flashy shiny new game that brings their grabs their attention, they're gonna go stream that instead. So it's nice being able to see that you'll have some streamers, you know, publicizing it and bringing attention to it. But how long will that attention actually stay there? Is it something they can really rely on? And then you've got this petition. You know, there's a petition going where people sign it and they'll say, you know, I want legacy servers, I'll play on them. Once again, that's great. There's probably like 400k people or something that have signed it so far. A lot of them have been not pushed, but they're signing it just because of other people signing it. Like someone might sign it because their favorite streamer wants to play Legacy, so they want to see their streamer play Legacy. Or some people might have never played Legacy before and they sign it because they want to, you know, check it out. Or there'll be a good bunch of people that actually do want to play Legacy and they'll stick to it. But how many of those people that sign the petition out, let's say the 400k, will actually play? And they'll stick to playing? That's the thing that, once again, is a bit of a risky move for Blizzard. Because they might make the Legacy server assuming like 500k people are going to play it. Okay, great. But then a month down the line, You've got the people who, you know, aren't as hardcore and don't really know what they've gotten themselves into. They've never played Legacy before. They've quit. They don't play anymore. So now you've maybe dropped down to like 300k. Still a decent amount. But then you got the people who finish everything. You know, they kill all the PvEer, they kill all the bosses, and they have no new content because Legacy servers are never going to be updated. There's never going to be any new content on Legacy servers. You're not going to have like a new patch with a new raid or whatever because Blizzard just are never going to do that. It's not. They don't have the. I don't even think they have the technology to do that anymore because it's not. It's old content. It's not something they can add on to it. So that's a big issue as well. And then you've got to think about Blizzard has to kind of take responsibility for the way the game looks in a not by like visual aspects, but say for example a patch. It's on a patch where like rogues are OP. People are probably going to complain that, oh, rogues are stupid in Legacy server. That's tough. That's what you've wanted. You have to deal with rogues being stupid. There's no if, no buts. That's what you want. That's what you're going to have to deal with. Blizzard aren't going to, you know, nerf or buff things in Legacy because that's you wanted it how it was, and that's how it was. But that's just an example. Like, it might be something else that people complain about that isn't fair or whatever. So it's a risky situation for them, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do Legacy servers, but Legacy servers anytime soon seems like a really silly move. Just because they've got too much they want to push right now. In maybe a year, I think Legacy servers would be a perfect time. Like, if they came out like 5 months ago, yeah, that would have been great. That would have been the perfect time because right now people are in like pre-expansion blues where they don't really have anything to do. And if it was like 5 months ago, they'd get the fill of a Blizzard game, you know, they'd get the fill of Legacy, and they could be getting to the point now where they're kind of bored and they want something new again. And they'd probably move on to Legion. You know, they'd be on the Legion hype. But to bring it out now, it's just too close to everything. Like, it'd risk hurting Legion. And let's go down the other route. Let's say WoW has, you know, Legacy, retail WoW, live WoW has around 5 million players right now. We don't know the exact number right now because they didn't release the stats of last quarter. But random number, you know, shot in the dark, it's about 5 million. So let's say Legacy servers go in the other direction. Let's say Legacy servers pull in 1 million or 2 million players and they take away like 1 million from retail. That has a negative effect on Legion. That has like, not on sales or whatever, but the actual player base of Legion hurts because of that. Because you're splitting up the player base. Right, like right now, like obviously WoW has about 5 million players, which is still a lot. But you've got to think that's split up between all the different regions. NA, EU, Asia. Those 5 million are split between those three. So if you take away like 1 million, 2 million players from NA and EU, the amount of players that play is going to be significantly lower. So you're going to have more of a dead feeling MMO. You're going to have a lot less people in major cities, a lot less people in the world, just because they're on Legacy instead. And that's not really something you want either, so then they have to start merging more servers, and it just doesn't have a very positive impact on the live game. So either way, it just doesn't seem like there's going to be a healthy balance for this. But as I said, if it hits the point where we're kind of in between expansions, like 5 months ago, that's more the ideal time to start looking at a Legacy server, because that's when the game has the better chance of it succeeding. You know, because people are probably unsubbing and, you know, waiting for something else to come along, or waiting for Legion or whatever. So if you give them Legacy then you're not really impacting live servers, because those people are probably not really playing anyway. And yeah, you're still keeping those people interested in WoW in some way. So I feel like that's the more healthy time to do it, if they're going to ever do it, which is really, really unfortunate because the petition is going now, but it's the wrong time for the petition to be going. If this was going on, as I said, like 5 months ago, or goes on like half a year or maybe a bit more into Legion, then that's the more ideal time. That's probably when they'll consider it a lot more. But right now it'll probably be pushed under the rug because I don't see them considering it this year. And then by that point, people won't care as much anymore. You know, it'll get to the point where they'll move on to other things, or they'll be interested in Legion or whatever, and it just won't have as much of an impact. They'll need to rally everyone to get there together again and try and make another impact with a petition. But if Blizzard really wanted legacy servers, they already know that people want them. They already look at the stats of these legacy servers and see that they have like 200k players, and you know, there's a big audience that wants to play legacy. They're not silly, they already understand and know that, but they don't seem to want to do it. I mean, if they did, they would have already done it by now. If they've seen some kind of major benefit in doing it, I'm pretty sure they would have already taken that opportunity and done it. But they haven't, and they're shutting down other private servers or legacy servers, so that says quite a bit as well. But then we're going to think about the other foot. There's a lot of people out there that don't play live WoW anymore, and they would happily come back for Legacy. If there was a way to just get those people to play without affecting live in any way, or Legion sales or in any way, then it'd be perfect, but it's kind of hard to do that. And I understand the people who just want to play Legacy. Like, there's good logic behind it. There's some people, like if you go to MMO Champion forums, like there's some people have really, really good arguments for legacy servers, and you read it and you're like, I agree with this. Like, yeah, these points make sense. I can see why you want to play legacy. All power to you. If you want to play legacy, go, you know, do it. Well, they can't really do it, but yeah, you know, good for you. But then you've got some other people as well on the forums that kind of make you wonder if Blizzard can take it seriously. And they come along and they say, wow, retail's too easy, and the LFR killed the game. It's like, what? Yeah, I killed Archimond on LFR, the game's way too easy. Have you killed Mythic Archimond? No, but what's the point? What do you mean, what's the point? The point is you do that for the challenge. LFR is just the scenic route, while Mythic is actually for the difficulty of the fight. And then they try and make like, and it's like, is getting Gladiator easier? Can you just get rank 1 because the game's easier to play now? Like, no, it doesn't work like that. There's also a few other things to consider as well with like legacy servers. As I mentioned, a lot of people probably don't know what they're getting themselves into with it. They've never played, they just hear these stories of how glorious and great it was. And when they get round to playing it, they might not see the vision of it being glorious and great. But as I said, there are some people who do actually enjoy it and do actually have solid reason to enjoy it. But I feel like a lot of them will not understand what they're actually doing or about to play. And they get into it and they're like, this is silly, this isn't difficult, this is just stupid. Because this is why I don't really play legacy servers or whatever. At least my specific reasoning is, for me it was a memory at the time. Like, I enjoyed playing it when it was current. You know, it was fun. But now that it's not current anymore, I don't want to go back and do it again. Like, I tried it out just to see if I enjoyed it, and I really didn't. I didn't feel difficult. It didn't feel difficult accidentally pulling an extra Murloc and it just beating the crap out of you. Like, that's not difficulty, that's just the way the game is. Like, you're just punished because a mob's too close to another mob. It's not, you can't outplay it in any way. It's not like Dark Souls where you can roll away from the spells and dodge them. You don't have that option. Wait, what am I doing? Where is this? Let me find this guy before I carry on ranting. There we go. Little gnome, get out of here. And there's no way of really outplaying it. So I feel like a lot of people confuse difficulty with time. Like, leveling is long in vanilla, but I wouldn't really consider it to be difficult. Sure, there's some aspects that are definitely more difficult than live, but there's not really like some huge skill difference. It's not like you have to be this master player to be able to level in vanilla. Like, every class has like 3 buttons, and you just kind of pull things and hit them until they die. Like, it's not like only the elite can kill mobs in vanilla. Wow, it's not how it works. And then a lot of the stuff that gets you out in the world and gets you playing the game outside of raiding, it wasn't difficult content, it was just more time consuming content. Like, you had to go and grind for ages because of the way the game worked. Now, that brings things into another story. That's what made the game a lot more active feeling. And that's definitely something that Live WoW could look at and take. Hopefully it takes it into Legion. It looks like it's going to. The game needs more things to go and do that you need to do to be able to kind of maximize yourself. Like farming certain materials or grinding for X thing. And with the new system with like professions being like world quests and stuff, hopefully it gets more people out in the world, because that's one thing that kind of feels bad. You're out in these really cool looking zones, like some of the zones in WoD, even though they're revamps of, not really revamps, but even though they're zones that we semi-know, like Negrand, they still look and feel great to be in, but it just feels weird being the only person in them. Especially now, like, I was doing some fishing to get the garrison level 3 fishing hut thing. Oh my god, kill me. And I came across 2 people. And it felt kind of odd. Like, flying around all the zone, looking for schools of fish and stuff. I was there for a while. And I only found 2 people. And I'm on Taran Mill, which is a pretty high populated server. So that's definitely something that needs to be fixed for the future. Like, the garrison was a great idea, but it just went in the wrong direction. It definitely took a lot away from the game when it was trying to do too much. It was trying to be this like fantastic place, but it just ended up taking away from the world that is the World of Warcraft. So hopefully they definitely don't fall down that trap again, which it looks like they're not gonna. There's stuff to do in the garrison, but a lot of it, there's a lot of stuff to do in your class hall, but most of it makes you go out into the world to do it. It isn't stuff that you can just do in your garrison, like, oh, I'd sent my guys on a mission, I guess I'm done for the day. Like, it's not like that. You get a lot of things to do that send you out of your class halls into the world, which is something that's really, really needed. So I'm glad that is the case. What are we doing here? Smot's chest. What? Oh, hello. So that's my thoughts on it all, at least. You might not agree with me in particular, and probably a lot of people won't, because there's kind of this. There's 2 sides to the coin on this kind of argument. There's people that are die-hard legacy people that, if you don't agree with them, they think you're an idiot and you with Blizzard fanboy or whatever. And then you get the people who don't really care for it, and they just like playing live. And I guess I'm more on that side, but I tried to be in the middle. I've tried to be in the middle as much as possible. But obviously this is a very, very opinionated topic, so I'm sorry if my opinion's not one that you like. And as I've said, I completely understand the people who want Legacy, that have valid reasons to want Legacy. I'm A-okay with it, you know. If Blizzard makes Legacy servers and they work out, they don't impact live at all, I'm down with that 100%. I'd probably even consider playing on it just to kill some time. But I just don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to come out anytime soon, and if they do, I don't know if they're going to have a bad effect on the game. So hopefully you at least see some of the points that I've been talking about and think, yeah, I guess that's kind of true, and, you know, take that into consideration. But I'm not here to convince you to not want Legacy servers, because I understand it. It was a different experience. Like, I do miss having to know people on my server. It was one thing that really got me interested in Arcade. The fact that you get to know people. There's names that stand out. You know, the person, for example, in Arcade, I actually can't remember his name now because it's been a while, but there was a guy who had really good gear when the server launched, and he was like the god of world PvP. He would always lead us to victory against the enemy faction in the like world battleground type thing. He'd always command us and tell us what to do and like crush people. And he ended up being crowned like the hero, because it's like a hero system. You can vote on who you think should be your faction's hero. And he ended up getting it because of how much he contributed. So you end up knowing these people's names. Like I interacted with a lot more people, just because you have to in that game. And that's kind of how Vanilla WoW was and BC was. The amount of people you knew. Like there was a tank on our server called Grandus in BC. I think it was Grandus. I'm not too sure if that was still his name then. And he basically would be the pug king. You know, he'd always be organising dungeon groups. He'd be the guy to speak to, and he was just like a known name. And it felt good. Like it felt good being a scrub and kind of having these people you can talk to and look up to and stuff. It felt good. And you just don't have that same interaction nowadays. Like I'm on Tarrant Mill, one of the higher population servers, and apart from close people to me, like people that I've known for months or years or whatever, I don't know anyone else on this server. Not a sausage. And I have no reason to know them either. Like, unless I join a guild and a raid with people, why would I ever need to know them? And that's one thing that does suck. Like, I do miss that need of, you know, finding the guy who's got max master blacksmithing, or finding the guy who's like the guy to speak to for warriors, or the guy who's to speak to for pugging raids and stuff like that. That was a nice feeling. It added more to the game, and it's something I'd love to hopefully see in Legion again. But I think the player base is just in a different mindset now. I'm not too sure if that will ever happen again, but I would definitely love for it to happen. And that's probably one of the things that's more like the most appealing about vanilla servers and BC servers, is kind of having that feeling again that the people on your server actually are people that you need to care about. So for me, that's probably the biggest thing. Sorry, I just cracked my knuckles. For me, that's probably the biggest thing that attracts me to like the legacy servers and stuff. And I really, really hope Legion doesn't fall into the same trap that WoD did, and we kind of end up in the same situation. But so far, it's not looking like it is. It's looking like it'll shape up to be a good expansion. So let's hope and pray it does, because I would be sad if it doesn't end up that way. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the topic. But I'd love to hear what you think, especially after hearing what I've got to put in the situation, like the topic. I'm curious to know if you think any of the points are wrong, and if so, let me know why. Like, don't just come along and be like, "Oh, you're an idiot." That doesn't really help me understand your point of view, because obviously me talking allows me to further my point of view. But if I don't hear other people's inputs, I don't actually have a full story to go off. Like, if people come to me with valid reasoning, then I'm more than happy to listen and take it into account, if that makes sense. For example, some people might not be happy with this either, but when Guild Wars 2 was launching, this is a while ago now, I'm always someone who likes the end game of a game, you know, like what you do when you hit max level. And I asked a bunch of people, like, why are you hyped for Guild Wars? What is it about the game that is making you interested? And like, oh, this, that, and that. I was like, okay, well, what do you do at endgame? Well, you do anything. Great, okay. What is anything? Anything, you know, and no one could really give me a solid answer to what it was that was attracting them to Guild Wars. They were just kind of on the hype train. And yep, there's some people that like the style of Guild Wars. It's a different take to an MMO. It's more of an MMO that you can jump into whenever you want. And I think that's a great concept. Like, it's not for me, but it's a really, really nice concept of, like, you don't really ever fall behind. You can just jump in and play whenever, while Arcade takes a different approach. If you don't play all the time in Arcade, you fall behind, and you fall behind hard. While in Guild Wars, you can kind of jump in, you play some PvP. But when the game was launching, I had a lot of people, that's when I streamed a lot more, and they'd be like, oh, have you bought a Guild Wars? Are you hyped for Guild Wars? And I'm like, not really. I just don't know what it is I should be hyped about, to be honest. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's going to be much that I want to do personally at endgame. Like, I'm more of a raider, and I like the mount collecting and stuff, and it just doesn't feel like that game has what interests me as an MMO player. And no one could give me an answer, but they'd all call me like idiot and stuff, like, oh, you're just a hater, you're a Blizzard fanboy. It's like, well, just give me a reason to be excited for the game then. But no one could. And then later down the line, those same people would have like quit the game, and I'd be like, oh, you still playing Guild Wars? I'd be like, no, it's bad. It's not what I thought it was going to be, you know, I'm back to WoW. It's like, well, yeah, because you didn't really think about what it was you were getting the game for. And as I said, there's people who enjoy the style of Guild Wars, and that's fine, because it's definitely not the normal MMO. It's not the box standard. They try to be different, and it works for them. It attracts this other like breed of MMO player, which is fine. It's just not for me, and that's fine as well. Every MMO game doesn't have to be for you or me or them or each other. So if you are gonna argue and be like, you're just a live fanboy, blind monkey mongrel, at least give me like some reasoning behind your argument, you know, because it makes it a lot more easy to follow and believe if you don't just throw insults at someone. If you actually come back with like reasoning behind it. And once again, just to clear things up, I'm not trying to say that legacy servers shouldn't happen, and I'm not trying to say that they're bad. And there's definitely good things about them and reasons that people want to play them. It's just not really for me anymore. But what I'm saying is why you think Blizzard should bring them out and how you think they'll kind of help the game, if they will at all. Or any of the other like minor topics I've talked about in the game, like maybe live stuff or whatever. So we're gonna hand in this final quest and we are gonna be done for today. What did we get to? We got like 1 level. Feels good, man. Although, to be honest, Alliance leveling feels so bad. It's probably because I'm not used to it, and I'm normally doing dungeons as well. But compared to Horde, this feels so bad. Like, these areas are so weird to level in. The quests don't flow properly. They don't feel good, man. Well, when you're in Horde, you've got like Stone Talon Mountain, which is probably one of the best questing areas you can do, and then you got like Southern Barrens. You got like, and then you go over to, you got like Western Plaguelands, Eastern Plaguelands, and you go down to like Badlands. The leveling and the quests within the zones flow really, really well. But so far, I'm not too impressed with these ones. So I'll probably try and get to a new zone for next video, and then we'll continue from there. But yeah, that is my thoughts on the whole legacy server thing. I'm not against it. I don't really care if they do or don't add it, as long as it doesn't have a negative impact in live. That's all I want. As long as it doesn't hurt live WoW in any way, then I'm a-okay with it. You know, bring it on, because it gives people who want to play it and enjoy WoW another reason to still like WoW and still like playing it. So there he is. So let's get inside the inn and then we'll call it a day. Like 40 minutes of ranting about one topic. Feels good. So, thanks for watching, guys. Look out for more of these videos coming soon. As I mentioned, if you've got something in particular you want me to talk about, be it like a small question, something that'll only take up a couple of minutes of my time, feel free to leave it in the comments below and I'll get them all together and I'll go through them one by one in the future leveling series episodes. So, cheers for watching as always. Don't forget to head over to One Legion TV for the WoW guides and stuff. See ya!